the country's biggest coal power stations is set to stay open for 4 more years.
Hello, I'm Linton Besser. Welcome to Media Watch. And tonight, a stunning U-turn on the future of Australia's energy infrastructure.
Exclusive. Keeping coal. State sees light.
The Australian can reveal owners Energy Australia, along with the Victorian government and the power grid operator, have held talks about delaying the mid-2028 closure of Yallourn.
What a splash for the Australian. The coal-fired Yallourn power station, which supplies 1/5 of Victoria's electricity, was meant to close shop in 2028 as renewables took root. But now an embarrassing volte-face, because on an inside track, the Oz revealed
a series of rolling talks had been held between Australian energy market operator and Victoria's Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action over the mooted extension.
The big news reverberated across morning radio.
News Corp is reporting the owner of Yallourn power station is now in talks with the state government to stay open past its due closure date of 2028.
Clearly, the Oz had found itself an insider, willing to talk about the talks. Except, were there talks? Shortly after the story was published, Energy Australia said this.
We have not met with the Victorian Government or AEMO. Energy Australia has publicly announced and reaffirmed multiple times the closure of the Yallourn power station by 2028.
The Australian had included an initial statement from the company that the plant would still close as planned in 3 years' time. And what did the other parties to these supposed talks have to say?
AEMO is unaware of any official meeting to discuss a possible extension for the retiring Yallourn power station.
Oh, AEMO denies it too? And what about the Victorian Energy Minister?
It was absolutely disingenuous, dishonest, and a pure fabrication based on lies.
Oof, her department was just as emphatic.
The Australian has falsely claimed that Energy Australia, the Victorian Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action, and the Australian Energy Market Operator have held talks. The claims are wrong.
Now, in this game, there are denials and denials. But to have every single player in this story say it's garbage? The newspaper later slipped the minister's remarks into its online copy, but it seems the Australian had been so confident it hadn't felt the need to ask her before the story was published.
The Australian did not contact the Victorian government for comment prior to publication.
It didn't ask the market operator either.
We were not contacted by the Australian for comment.
The story in the Australian had kindled a fire in 3AW's Tom Elliott.
Now, we've been told that renewables can do the job, that we can just have more batteries, more solar, more wind, and everything will be fine. Well, clearly it's not going to be fine.
Then came the drip of cold water.
We've just got a statement from Energy Australia. They say we have committed to net zero by 2050 and closing Yallourn by 2028 as part of that commitment. So we've got a bit of a standoff here.
13 minutes later, a bucket of it came down the line.
The Premier, in fact, Jacinta Allen, has just sent us a statement, and it says that no, they have not been advised to keep it open.
The next day, the paper published a follow-up story with a more nuanced denial from the Energy Minister, but still absent the energy market operator's statement. Clearly, with the enormous pressure on Victoria's energy system and the fact another coal plant in New South Wales has had its life extended, the Australian, which didn't respond to our questions, by the way, is tilling fertile ground. But in the face of such strong denials, which it didn't bother to properly seek out or publish, it needed to do much more before it could say Yallourn is set to stay open in a 7-column splash above the fold. Because apart from, I don't know, getting it right, you know why else this matters? Because in the Latrobe Valley, where Yallourn is located, energy workers and their families are preparing for the day the plant's giant boilers run empty and fall cold.
I was disappointed with the speculation and rumour that it caused. What you're actually playing with is a human element here of the workers, their families and the communities in which they live in.
Now, we're going to let you in on the secret path to great wealth, which happens to have been sitting there on the internet all along, just waiting to be discovered.
Today you will be richer than you ever imagined. I'm talking about life-changing money, and you won't believe how incredibly simple it is. You can make money in just 3 minutes. Listen up.
OK, we're listening, Twiggy.
I'm going to give you an amazing new income-generating system for free. I'm here to give you the tools for your exciting new life. A life where you no longer have to work.
But I just got this job. Of course, this is not the path to an exciting new life, nor is our spiritual guide really Twiggy Forrest. Rather, this ad is just another of the weeds which have long bloomed in Facebook's night soil, many of which feature the stolen faces and endorsements of household names.
It's devastating. People who trust me and trust what I say are then ripped off by some scammer from overseas.
They look at Dick Smith saying something, they believe it, and then they lose their money. It's terrible.
For years, the 3.3 billion users of Meta's social media platforms, including Facebook and Instagram, have been overwhelmed by these fake ads, with celebrities of almost every flavour appearing to shill for sham investments and shady crypto deals, resulting in the theft from thousands of victims of their life savings. The scale of the criminality was recently exposed in a stunning leak of phone calls between Facebook scammers and their victims, published by investigative reporting outfit the OCCRP and The Guardian.
So I want my money.
No, you will never see it. You will never see it in your entire life again.
You're a liar.
But I'm really good at it.
One West Australian victim of scammers like this had been taken in by a fake Andrew Forrest ad in 2019.
Over a period of 3 months, I had literally lost over $600,000.
In the past 5 years, more than $201 million has been fleeced from Australians through social media investment scams alone. So, after years of uproar from every corner of the world, last December, Meta announced it was introducing new measures to more swiftly weed out scams and prevent the hijacking of celebrity faces by nefarious actors.
Meta will require advertisers seeking to run ads about financial services to verify information about who are the beneficiary and payer. It will apply to advertisers worldwide targeting Australian users on Meta's platforms.
But these changes, which are now meant to be in place, have not been enough for Twiggy Forrest.
A US judge has ordered tech giant Meta to hand over details about how fraudsters use its platform after the company revealed it has hosted 230,000 scam ads featuring billionaire Andrew Forrest's image since 2019.
The Australian mining billionaire has just enough banknotes under the mattress to have become Mark Zuckerberg's pest-in-chief from down under. And last Tuesday in California, his long-running lawsuit against the social media behemoth forced an admission from Meta that it had published almost 250,000 scam ads graced by Twiggy's time-worn features.
They've ordered Facebook to hand over their metadata, and that will be used to examine if the company's own software may have actively contributed to the scams.
Last week, Forrest's lawyer, Simon Clark, told reporters,
Meta's admission confirms what we have long suspected. Fraudsters are using its advertising systems at an astonishing scale to exploit innocent Australians, many of whom have lost their life savings.
In April last year, Commonwealth prosecutors dropped a criminal case against the Facebook parent company. But by then, Twiggy Forrest had filed his lawsuit against Meta.
They just blatantly refuse to have any influence on the content on their sites, no matter how fraudulent they know those materials to be on its platforms.
But while the $2.3 trillion company has struggled for so long to find enough resources to crack down on these blatant scams, it has finally managed to turn its sights on the real criminals exploiting its platforms.
My Shero. Stories of female role models, mentors, and the women who inspire us.
Yes, those scoundrels at Generation Women Australia, a group that empowers women through storytelling, trying to run a pernicious Facebook campaign to spruik an upcoming show that clearly is a danger to us all.
A celebration of storytelling, connection and wisdom from women across generations. Tickets are limited. Don't miss out.
After 7 years of using Facebook to promote its shows, which feature inspiring and everyday women, Meta has now clamped down and rejected its ads for being too political. Its founder, Donna Logue, told us,
"We rely on these ads to reach new audiences and keep our doors open. So what's happening with Meta is genuinely threatening to organisations like ours."
Meta would not comment on the rejection of Generation Women Australia's paid ads and refuses to say exactly how much it earns from scam advertisements. But it told MediaWatch it had introduced new measures to prevent scams, including
financial advertiser verification, the expansion of our facial recognition technology, and the expansion of our partnership with the Australian Financial Crimes Exchange. The safety of our users is of utmost importance. We will continue to invest in new ways to stop scammers.
It would be a grand day should Meta ever actually be cross-examined in court about what is plainly its corrupt online marketplace. But my prediction is we'll see a settlement in the Twiggy case before then, because Meta simply cannot have its dirty linen aired. Meanwhile, this trillion-dollar giant, desperate to avoid the cost of properly sorting the crooks from the rest of us, is now stripping out its fact-checkers and lobbying the White House to force Australia to abandon its meagre regulation of social media platforms. And to think billions of us now rely on these companies merely to talk to each other. And now to a veteran news broadcaster who's done it all.
Every corner you walk around here in Amatrice is another scene of utter destruction.
For 26 years, Max Futcher has brought Queenslanders stories from the front lines, like during the 2012 Games in Britain, or in Thailand during that heroic cave rescue.
Success last night, hope today.
And when Cyclone Alfred tore through his home state. Through it all, he's cut a dashing figure.
Let's go straight to Emergency HQ at Kedron now, where Premier David Crisafulli joins us. Premier, thanks for your time.
So it makes perfect sense, really, that when Seven previously published an online column about how it was preparing for Alfred, his chic and style were just a click away.
Shop this image.
Yes, relaxed fit, regular fit, even a cotton blend. Options for everyone, it seems, thanks to an AI web crawler. I went with the slim fit myself. This wonderful new feature has come to 7 News courtesy of a company called Trendy, spelt not with a Y, obviously, but a double I, which is helping us all enormously by
shortening the product discovery process.
That's right, just think of the time you'll save. Best of all, it can transform anybody on the 7 News website into a shopfront mannequin, like Foxtel Chief Executive Patrick Delaney, who is rocking that dyed wool blend blazer, or our Prime Minister and his slim fit travel jacket. And if Canberra chic is not your thing, what about the accused sex trafficker look, like Sean Diddy Combs? Yeah, no thanks. Seven is a commercial operation which, amid terrible market conditions, still has to find ways to pay its staff and return value to its shareholders. But Shop This Image is blurring that critical line between news and advertising, which has been growing less and less distinct at Seven. Separate to its relationship with Trendy, it also publishes quite special shopping news.
7 News may receive a commission when you buy from links on our site.
That's right. If you buy that air fryer by clicking through from 7 News, Kerry Stokes's empire gets a little cut. Trendy's chief executive, Aaron Wolf, sees a strong future for his army of robot fashionistas, even if they do occasionally go a little haywire.
In a fast-moving news environment across all types of ad placements, there can be instances where an ad may, on rare occasions, appear adjacent to content that is not contextually relevant or suitable. Such instances can range from hilarious to tragic.
Since we asked questions, Trendy has blocked the shopping robots from those 7 pages. A spokeswoman for Seven told us,
"We are aware of some anomalies in how this function has been applied and have been actively making changes to minimise its use and phase out certain placements to ensure alignment with our editorial standards and audience expectations.
And while perhaps Seven has good fiscal reasons to be trying new things, it might want to tread carefully before it tramples over the integrity of its staff and their hard work. Besides, while Max Future has a natural elan, others may not be so lucky. And that's all from us tonight. Be sure to check us out on iView as well as X, YouTube and Facebook. You can find full statements on our website, and don't forget to send us your tips. See you next week.